I looked at my watch and saw that it was 11 p.m. Who was here this late? I removed the covers and went towards my bedroom door. I opened it in time to hear my brother's voice. "Logan," he said, "what are you doing here?" "Where is she? Where is Emma?" Logan asked nervously. His voice was the most amazing sound I have ever heard. It was like music to my ears. What was wrong with me? It never sounded like that before. It must have been because I was tired, but he sounded cold, rushed. I didn't know why he was asking for me, but I had a feeling that I was in trouble. But I didn't do anything wrong. "Emma," my brother asked. "She is sleeping. Why?" I could hear surprise and confusion in his voice. I started walking toward the stairs and was instantly hit with the most fantastic smell, pine needles and snow. It smelled like a winter forest. "Mate!" Eliza screamed in my head. "What?" I asked and froze. "It is Logan, Emma. He is our mate. Go to him," Eliza said, excited. Logan, the alpha. He was my mate. I was a Luna. I had a million questions in my head. My feet started moving against my will. It was like something was pulling me downstairs. Well, not something. The mate bond. "Wake her up," Logan growled. "Now!" He sounded mad. Why was he mad? "I am awake," I said and started walking down the stairs. I stopped in the middle to look at Logan. Everything shifted when I looked into his eyes. He was now the center of my world. He was everything. I felt this great need to touch him, to be in his arms. I wanted to run to him, but I stopped myself when I saw how cold his stare was. What was going on? "Logan," my brother called him. "She is my mate," Logan said through his teeth. My brother gasped and looked up at me. I nodded and looked back at Logan. He was standing there looking at me with a cold expression on his face. His fists were clenched, and his posture was rigid. He didn't want me. That's why he was so angry. I was not good enough to be his Luna. "Emma," Andrew called my name. "Go to your room, now." He must have seen how angry Logan was and wanted to talk to him about this. I turned away and walked back upstairs. But there was no way I was going back into my room. I wanted to hear what Logan would say. I had a feeling I knew, though. I heard them walking to the kitchen, and I sat at the top of the stairs. I would be able to hear them talk, and hopefully they would be focused on their conversation and unable to hear or sense me. I just had to be very quiet. I hugged my knees and waited. "Talk," my brother said coldly. "How did you know before you even saw her?" "I don't know," Logan sighed. "I could sense and smell her. It happened about an hour ago. At first I thought I was going crazy, but then I decided to follow that smell. I knew for sure when I came closer to your house, Leon started going crazy." "That is weird," my brother said. "Mates usually know when they see each other. They can't sense it before." "I know, but I did," Logan growled. My brother sighed. "Why are you angry?" "She can't be my Luna, Andrew," Logan said. My heart broke. I hugged my knees even tighter. I felt warm tears running down my cheeks. Nothing hurts like your mate's rejection. "What? Why?" my brother asked angrily. "She is a child," Logan said. "She is not strong enough to be Luna. I need someone stronger." "You are kidding me, right?" my brother yelled. "You are going to throw away Goddess's gift because you don't think she is strong enough?" "It is for the pack," Logan said calmly. "You know our pack needs strong leadership, especially now that rogues are attacking even more frequently. Alpha is always stronger when he has his Luna by his side," my brother growled. "He is, and I will have my Luna," Logan said. "I am thinking about taking Sienna as my chosen mate." My heart stopped beating. He was choosing another she-wolf instead of me, and not just any wolf. Sienna. She wanted to get rid of me, and she will. She will become a Luna, and she will exile me from my pack. Maybe she would kill me when she discovered I was Logan's true mate. "Why didn't you already do that if you think she will be a great Luna?" my brother asked angrily. "I wanted to wait for my true mate," Logan answered, "to see if I was gifted with a strong she-wolf. But now that I see that is not the case, I can freely choose somebody else." "I can't believe this," my brother said quietly. "You know I am right, Andrew," Logan said. You know that you, me, and Sienna will be great leaders, and the pack will benefit greatly from our leadership. We can't do that with your sister. She is only 18. My brother said nothing, and I think he agreed with Logan. He thought that I wasn't strong. I didn't think my heart could break even more. I've heard enough. I got up and walked to my room. My heart was breaking into a million tiny pieces. I didn't think that I would ever be able to put it back together, and he hasn't officially rejected me yet. I didn't know how I would survive when he did. Mates could reject each other. It didn't break the bond, though. Nothing did. It was only words. But it let you know that your mate didn't want you, which was horrible. The bond was alive, but you couldn't do anything about it. Being exiled by Sienna and becoming a rogue suddenly didn't sound so bad. It was better than staying here, watching them together. It would kill me slowly. "Eliza," I called my wolf. "Are you okay?" "No, Emma," she whined. "I am in pain." "I know," I said. "I am sorry." "His wolf wants us," she whined. "Leon wants us. It is Logan who is fighting the bond." I didn't respond, and I felt her going further back in my mind. I didn't think I would hear from her again tonight. She needed to heal. I couldn't stay here. I couldn't see my brother. I couldn't see him. I quickly put on my tights, a hoodie, and sneakers. I grabbed a jacket from my wardrobe and opened my window. My room was on the second floor, but there was a roof just underneath it. I always sneaked out this way when my brother forbade me from going out with Amy. He never caught me. I hoped that tonight would be the same. I carefully climbed out onto the roof and made my way down. I had to be really careful not to make any noise. I was in a house with an alpha and a beta werewolf. Their hearing is even better than other werewolves. I just hoped they were still talking and focused on their conversation. I climbed down and started walking toward the forest. There was a cave nearby where Amy, Jake, and I always went to hang out when we wanted to be alone. I needed to go there and think.
Logan's POV. I wanted to reject her on the spot. But when I saw her standing there on the stairs, I couldn't do it. I couldn't say those words. I saw that she was happy when she looked at me. She wanted to come to me. But she saw my cold stare and stopped herself. Goddess, she was beautiful. I always thought that she was pretty and hot. But now that she was my mate, she was even more beautiful than before. She smelled like strawberries and watermelon. Her long brown hair fell freely down her back, and her blue eyes were an ocean I wanted to swim in. Her lips were perfect. Her tiny body was perfect. Every curve was made for me. I just wanted to touch her. I clenched my fist to stop myself. I shut Leon out entirely because he would kill me for what I was about to do. He was so happy when we smelled her. I don't want him to see this. I will deal with him later. I was relieved when Andrew told her to go upstairs. I would be able to think clearly now that she wasn't here. I could tell Andrew was not happy with my explanation. But he knew that I was right. He knew that the pack always came first. And his sister was still a child. She just shifted today. She couldn't control her wolf correctly or fight in her wolf form. The rogues would use her against me, and that would ruin the pack. I needed a strong Luna. Sienna would be a great Luna. She was strong and kind. Our pack would benefit from having her as a Luna. "Andrew," I called him after he didn't respond. "Fuck," he muttered. "You are right. Sienna is strong, and she would be a great Luna. But that doesn't mean my sister couldn't get stronger." "It doesn't," I agreed. "But we don't have the time to train her, to make her stronger. Rogues would use her as a liability against me, and the pack would suffer. You know I am right." He nodded and ran his hand through his hair. "Do you want to tell her now?" he asked me. I nodded. "Yes. It doesn't make sense to wait." "Fine," he said. "I will go get her." I took a deep breath and tried to calm myself. I couldn't get distracted by the bond. I couldn't get distracted by her. I needed to do this for my father and my pack. It wouldn't sever the bond. Nothing did. I would still feel her. She would still be my mate. But I would be free to make Sienna my Luna. "Fuck!" I heard Andrew yell, and I immediately ran upstairs. Her smell was so intoxicating up here. I couldn't help but breathe it in deeply. "What happened?" I asked Andrew. He came out of her room, but she wasn't with him. "She has left," he growled. I froze, and my heart started beating painfully. She left. She probably heard us and left. What if something happened to her? I couldn't let that happen. I couldn't live without her. Leon? I called my wolf. Can you feel our mate's wolf? Is she okay? No, he growled at me. Her wolf is in pain. She retracted far back in mate's mind. I can't feel her. Fuck. You are a complete fucker, Logan, Leon growled. Mate is perfect and strong. You will be sorry for what you did. I didn't respond, and I pushed him to the back of my mind. I didn't need that now. He was an animal. He reacted purely on instinct, and his instinct was to get his mate. I had to be the one to reason and think about our pack. Andrew ran past me and went downstairs. He grabbed his jacket and ran through the front door. I followed him in a daze. Come on, Logan, he growled. Follow her scent. Where did she go? I focused on him and did what he told me to do. Her scent was the strongest underneath her bedroom window, and it continued toward the forest. Shit, Andrew muttered. We hurried towards the forest, and I told him where to go based on the intensity of her scent. It wasn't hard to follow her, so it couldn't be long since she walked this path. Suddenly, her scent just stopped. I couldn't smell her anymore. It was like she had just disappeared. My heart stopped beating. What's wrong? Andrew asked. I can't smell her anymore, I said quietly. The smell is completely gone. Fuck, he yelled. She used masking spray. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath to calm myself. She is okay. I would have felt if something had happened to her. Emma, Andrew yelled. Leon, I called my wolf. I know you are mad at me, but I need you to try and talk to her wolf. Tell her to come back. I will, he growled, but not because of you. I want my mate to be safe. Leon will try to talk to her wolf, I told Andrew. If something happens to her, I will kill you. Alpha or not, he growled at me. He was the only one who could say something like that to me. If he wasn't my best friend, he would be dead already. She is okay, Andrew, I said. I would feel if something happened to her. What if she decided to leave the pack, huh? He growled. To become a rogue because she heard her mate, the one person who should love her unconditionally, say that she is not strong enough to be his mate and Luna? I didn't do that. Not yet, anyway, a voice said from the forest. Andrew and I turned towards the sound. Emma was leaning against the tree. I let out a breath I had been holding. She was okay. She was wearing tights that let me see her legs perfectly. Her face was even more beautiful than it was back at the house. How is it possible for someone to become even more beautiful in a matter of minutes? I had to use all my strength not to go to her and make her mine. If I was a regular wolf and not an alpha, I don't think I would be able to do that. Andrew ran towards her and hugged her. I got jealous. I wanted to do that, but I knew I couldn't. I had to be strong. Goddess, Emma, Andrew yelled. Don't ever do that again. She didn't hug him back. She stepped away from him and looked at me. You are here to reject me, right? She said quietly. Come on, do it. Let's get this over with. Andrew and I shared a confused look. How is she so calm? So strong? I looked back at her, and she was staring at me with her head held high. I took a deep breath and walked closer to her. You know why I have to do this? I do, she nodded. I heard everything. I nodded and ran my hand through my hair. Every part of me was screaming at me not to do this. Leon clawed his way to the front of my mind to see his mate, and he was growling and whining. I didn't want to do this. I wanted her, but I had to for my pack. I took a deep breath and looked directly into her beautiful eyes. I, Logan Carter, Alpha of the Crescent Moon Pack, reject you. Emma Parker of the Crescent Moon Pack. I could feel my heart breaking. Leon was howling inside me, and I could feel his pain. She was looking right at me, and I could see the pain in her eyes, but she refused to show it. Most wolves fall to their knees from the pain. I wanted to fall to my knees and claw at my chest, but she didn't. She was standing there with her head held high. She took a deep breath and closed her beautiful eyes. I, Emma Parker of the Crescent Moon Pack, accept your rejection. I closed my eyes and felt tears running down my cheek. When I opened them, she was gone. The bond was still here. Nothing had changed. I felt the same way toward her. I still wanted her. But I just opened the door for me to mate with another she-wolf.
Emma's POV. I never thought I could feel this much pain and survive, My whole body was trembling and my soul was in pieces. There was a massive hole in my heart and I didn't think I would ever be able to fix it. My mate didn't want me. I wasn't good enough. My brother thought that I was weak. My mate rejected me. He would have a new Luna and I would have to look at them daily. I didn't know how I got home. I didn't remember the path. Pain clouded my vision. I left Logan and Andrew in the forest and I just started running away. I couldn't go back to the cave. I didn't want them to find it. It would mean that I wouldn't be safe there anymore. We always used masking spray before coming into the cave, but Andrew and Logan came close to finding it. I guess because of the mate bond, Logan could smell me better. I started walking to my room. I shut the door and locked it. I didn't want to see my brother. I didn't want to talk to him. I wanted to be alone. I was lying on my bed and staring at the ceiling. I just wished I could feel numb, not happy. I didn't think I would ever be happy again. The best I could have hoped for was numbness. Maybe I would be able to achieve that. Maybe the pain would burn through my body tonight, and in the morning there would be nothing left but numbness. It would be like I had drunk poison. It would burn, destroy, and leave. I heard my brother opening the back door and running upstairs. He tried to open my bedroom door. "Emma," he called me. "Emma, open the door, please." I stayed silent. I didn't want to talk to him. "Emma, please," he said. "Let me explain." There was nothing to explain. I was a weak, small she-wolf who could never be good enough to be a Luna, or Logan's mate. Andrew tried to talk to me a few more times, but eventually he gave up when I refused to answer. I heard him sigh and walk away. I continued to stare at the ceiling. What a way to end a birthday. My day started full of excitement, love, and new beginnings, ending in pain and misery. I never thought it would happen like this. I stayed up all night staring at the ceiling and wishing the pain would disappear. It sort of worked. By the time I was supposed to get up and go get breakfast, the pain was better and bearable. Maybe I could tell that a small part of me was numb. That was a start. I heard my brother wake up. He walked downstairs to the kitchen and started making breakfast. Half an hour later, I heard Sienna coming. A little while after, Logan arrived as well. It was tradition for them. They always met at our home, had breakfast, and then they went and did their alpha and beta duties. Sienna just went around being a bitch to everybody. But soon, she would have Luna's duties. I looked at my watch and saw I had to be at the training ground in an hour. I decided to get ready and get there early. I couldn't stand being in the same place as them. I got up and hopped into the shower. I quickly got dressed and tied my hair in a ponytail. I looked in the mirror, and my lack of sleep was clearly visible on my face. I sighed and unlocked my bedroom door. I decided to leave through the back door so I didn't have to see anybody. But my brother heard me. "Emma!" he called me and came running from the kitchen. I stared at him blankly. "Where are you going?" he asked me. "Training grounds," I uttered quietly. "It is early," he said, "and Jacob is not here yet." There was a loud growl in the kitchen. Logan. I ignored it and put my focus back on my brother. "I want to get there early today." "Oh, okay," my brother said nervously. "But you didn't eat anything." "I am not hungry," I said, and walked through the door. I closed it before he could say anything. I walked over to the training grounds, and I saw that Jake was already there. He saw me and gave me a confused look. "Emma, what are you doing here? I was just about to come and get you," he told me. Before I could say anything, he noticed how tired I looked. "Emma?" he asked, worried. "What happened?" "I am fine," I said quietly. I couldn't sleep. "Why beautiful?" he asked, and wrapped me in his arms. Goddess, why couldn't he be my mate? "I found my mate," I whispered in his arms. I felt him tense, and he pulled away from me to look me in the eyes. He let his hands be on my shoulders, holding me tightly. "Who is it?" he asked me. "And why are you so sad?" I couldn't answer him. Those words didn't want to leave my mouth. I looked down at my feet. "Did he—" He started talking, but stopped himself. I looked back up at him and nodded. His eyes widened. "Oh, my goddess. I am so sorry, beautiful. You don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that." I smiled slightly and sighed. Well, I guess it had to happen like that. Who is he? He asked me. Not now, Jake, I said. We will talk after training. He nodded and wrapped me in a hug again. He kissed my forehead and walked over to his training ground. My whole training session sucked. I was so tired and distracted that I got a nice ass whopping. By the end, I was covered in bruises and cuts. Amy walked over to me with a frown on her face. Emmy, you sucked today. What happened? Why were you so distracted? I will tell you at the diner, Amy, I replied. I need to go home and take a hot shower. Okay, she said, eyeing me up and down. Are you sure you are okay? I nodded and walked away. I just hoped that my brother wasn't home. I didn't want him to see me like this. It would only add to his belief that I was weak. I was lucky. He was out. But a monster was waiting for me at home. Sienna. She was leaning on the kitchen counter when I walked in. She eyed me up and down and smiled wickedly. Well, if it isn't the little rejected mate, she said, smirking. You know, I always wanted to see the face of a little bitch whose Luna title I would be taking away, but the fact that it is you only makes it better. I rolled my eyes and started walking upstairs. She ran after me and grabbed my hand, turning me around. Listen here, you little bitch, she spat in my face. I am your Luna, and you will not roll your eyes at me. My Luna is Gloria. You are just a terrible replacement, I spat back. She slapped me hard, and I fell on the floor. I should have seen that coming. She stepped on my arm with her heel. It hurt like hell, but I didn't want to give her the pleasure of screaming. I looked up at her with a murderous look on my face. I can't wait for Logan to mark me as his. I will kill you and make it look like you ran away to be a rogue, she said quietly and walked away. I slowly got up and walked upstairs to my room. My life would be a living hell until Sienna finally ended me. I was sure she would make sure to torture and torment me whenever she had a chance. Even though Logan rejected me, she still saw me as a threat.
Logan's POV. Who the hell was this Jacob guy? It had been bugging me since this morning. I mean, I knew that he was one of my best warriors, and he was Emma's friend. But why was he so attentive to my mate? She is not yours anymore, Leon growled. You rejected her, remember? I ignored him. He'd been doing that the whole morning. He has been reminding me of what I did and pushed me away. I called my head of patrol in my office. I would find out everything I could about this Jacob guy. He was quick. He got to my office in a matter of minutes. Alpha, he addressed me. You wanted to see me? Yes, I said, and sat at my desk. Thank you for coming here on such short notice, Lewis. It wasn't a problem, he said and smiled. What can I do for you, Alpha? What can you tell me about a warrior named Jacob? I asked. Jacob Walters? He asked. I nodded and waited for him to go on. Well, he is an amazing young man, he said. One of our best warriors. He is strong and a swift learner, and the other wolves love him. Why? Is there a problem? No, I said, and shook my head. No problem, Lewis. I just noticed him in training and saw potential in him. Oh yes, he smiled brightly. There is a lot of potential in him. He is one of my best. I could tell Lewis was proud of him. Does he have a mate? I asked, trying to sound indifferent. No, he said, shaking his head. But there is a rumor that he would like to take a chosen one. He's been in love with this girl forever. Most of my boys are, to tell you the truth. He laughed, and I clenched my fists. If he was talking about Emma, I would kill somebody. Who is that girl? Emma Parker, he said. Your beta's sister. I saw red. I clenched my fists and growled. She was mine! Lewis looked at me with a shocked expression on his face. I tried to pull myself together. Thank you, Lewis. You can leave, I said through my teeth. He got up quickly, clearly afraid of me, and left my office in a hurry. When I heard him leave the pack house, I put my fist through the wall. Fuck! Why are you angry, Logan? Leon sneered. You rejected her. Did you really think no other wolves would want her? She's beautiful and perfect. Of course they would want her. And now you get to watch another wolf have her while you suffer with that bitch Sienna. Shut the hell up, Leon, I growled at my wolf. You are smirking like you won't be watching her be with another just like me. Yes, but I get to shut you out and hurt you just like you did to me, he growled back. I will not watch that bitch Sienna be our mate and Luna. That place belongs to Emma. Sienna is my friend, I spat back at him. She is the worst person ever, he said. Asher thinks so as well. You and Andrew are the only blind ones. Our fight was interrupted when Andrew walked into my office. What the hell happened? He asked, looking at the hole in my wall. Did you know Jacob wants your sister to be his chosen mate? I asked angrily. He sighed and sat on the couch. Yes, I did. We talked about it. I growled. What did you tell him? I told him to give her a chance to meet her true mate, he said calmly. Now that she has, and you rejected her, I don't have a problem with him asking her. I growled loudly and walked over to him. He will not do that. I don't think you have a choice, Logan, he said, looking up at me. You didn't want her. He does. I whined and ran my hand through my hair. I couldn't do anything about that. I had chosen a different mate. She should have an opportunity to do the same. But it would kill me. Looking at another man touching what's mine, it would definitely kill me. There was another rogue attack, Andrew said, pulling me away from my thoughts. What? Where? I turned to him. South border, he said. Our patrol took care of it pretty quickly. Good, I sighed. It has been happening more often. Any word from other alphas? He asked. I shook my head. No, but Alpha Drake said he would call soon. We have been in touch with other alphas whose packs are frequently attacked by the rogues. We have been trying to figure out what the Rogue King wants. We hadn't made any progress, unfortunately. Any rogue wolf who was captured refused to talk, even when tortured. We couldn't get them to talk. But I hoped Alpha Drake would give me some good news soon. We have to get to the bottom of this soon, Andrew sighed. We can't fight them if we don't know what they want. We will, I said, and sat at my desk. Do you want to go grab something to eat? Andrew asked me. We could go to that diner that has those amazing burgers. I nodded. I needed to eat something. I hadn't slept much, and my whole body hurt like somebody had beaten me up. As of a few minutes ago, my hand started throbbing. I guessed that punching a wall hurt more than I thought it would. But it was okay. It would stop soon. We werewolves heal fast. On our way out of the pack house, we ran into Sienna. She gave us a warm smile and kissed me on the cheek. Hello, mate, she said, and winked at me. Hello, Sienna, I smiled. We are going to the diner to eat something. Do you want to go with us? Sure, she said, and smiled brightly. Sienna would be a good mate. She was intelligent, pretty, and kind, and she was a good fuck, I had to admit. She would be a great Luna. When we got close to the diner, I was hit by the incredible smell. Strawberries and watermelon. Emma. She was inside. As soon as I got inside, my eyes searched for her. I found her sitting in a booth with her friends, Amy and Jacob, and he had his arm around her. I let go of Sienna and clenched my fists. I growled quietly. Sienna yanked on my hand and I looked at her, irritated. She is not your mate anymore, Logan, she snarled. I am. Before I could respond, I heard Andrew gasp. I followed his gaze and saw that he was looking at Emma. Why did he gasp? I looked closer and saw that she was covered in bruises and scrapes. I ran towards her and grabbed her upper arm. That fucker Jacob immediately let go of her. Tingles spread through my body. That was the first time I touched her since we discovered we were mates. It was the most pleasurable feeling in the world. I could only imagine what it would feel like to kiss her, or be inside her. Fuck, Logan. Stop thinking about this. Focus. What happened to you? I growled. I heard Andrew beside me. Emma, what happened to your hand? I looked at her hand and saw it was severely bruised like somebody had stepped on it. She glanced toward Sienna, and I could swear I saw fear in her eyes. Why was she afraid of Sienna? She looked back at us and pulled her arm from my grip. I immediately felt cold and empty. I had a rough training session, she said quietly, and looked down. This was what I thought when I said she wasn't strong enough. If she was attacked by a rogue, she wouldn't be able to defend herself. But that didn't mean that I didn't want to kill the fucker who touched and hurt what belonged to me. You need to be more careful, Andrew said quietly. You mean stronger? She asked and looked at us. When we didn't respond, she sighed and looked down. I am with my friends, she said. I will see you at home, Andrew. Andrew nodded reluctantly and pulled me to our booth. I didn't want to leave her, but I had to. I couldn't take my eyes off of her the entire time we were there. I could see Sienna was pissed, but I couldn't care less. My mate was with another male. I had to keep an eye on her. You rejected her, Leon growled. And you are with another female. I ignored him completely and continued to stare at her. Goddess, she was beautiful.
Emma's POV. I felt Logan's eyes on me the entire night. I didn't look up at him once. Every time Jacob touched me, there was a low, menacing growl coming from his direction. What the hell was his problem? He was the one who rejected me. He was the one who was sitting there with his new mate and future Luna. Before they came to the diner, I told Amy and Jacob about Logan and me. They were shocked to hear that he had rejected me and that he had chosen Sienna as his mate. They knew all about her and were the only ones who believed me. She was a bitch to them as well, so it wasn't hard for them to believe that I was telling the truth about her. I want to kill her for doing that to your hand, beautiful, Jacob said quietly. It's okay, Jake, I said. I will heal. No, it is not okay, Emmy, Amy whined. She hurt you. Until now, she only used her words, but I am afraid of how far she is willing to go now. Amy is right, Jake nodded. She hates the fact that you are Logan's mate. I am afraid of what she could do. Maybe I could talk to Alpha and Beta. No, Jacob, I said and grabbed his hand. Promise me you won't do that. They won't believe you. Trust me. I've tried telling my brother about her more than once. He just doesn't want to believe that his friend is a bitch. Just let it go. It will be okay. I will be okay. She will forget about me once Logan marks her. I will no longer be a threat to her when that happens. Amy and Jake exchanged worried looks. Fine. Jacob sighed and put his arm around my shoulders. A louder growl came from Logan's booth. He immediately let go of me. Why did you have to be mated to an alpha? He asked, irritated. His energy alone is making it impossible for me to touch you. I have to submit, even to his growls. I don't want to lose an arm. I chuckled. I am sorry, Jacob. It will get better. When he marks Sienna, he will forget about me. I hope so, he said, and gave me a warm smile. I smiled back and sighed. Well, I should go home. You didn't eat anything, Amy said. I'll eat at home, I said, and smiled. That was a lie. I didn't have an appetite. If I ate something, I would throw it all up anyway. The three of us walked out of the diner, followed by an intense gaze. I sighed and rolled my eyes. For somebody who didn't want me as his mate, he sure stared a lot. Amy and Jacob hugged me goodbye, and I walked home. When I got inside, I immediately started walking upstairs. I was stopped abruptly when two large hands grabbed my waist and pulled me back. You are not locking yourself in your room again, Andrew growled in my ear. I was so lost in my thoughts that I didn't hear him walking behind me. I don't want to talk to you, I said, and tried to wiggle out of his grip. It was useless. He only tightened his grip and picked me up. He walked over to the couch and put me down on my feet. He grabbed my hand and pulled me down to sit on the couch. He sat beside me and tilted my chin so I would look at him. You are my sister, the only family I have, he growled at me. I am not letting another day go by without talking to you. I don't have anything to say, I said quietly. I am sorry, Emma, he said, cupping my face. I am so sorry. You think I am weak, I said quietly, and a tear rolled down my face. He looked down, ashamed. I told him you could get stronger. I think you are more than worthy of being a Luna, but he only sees the physical aspect of things. He doesn't see your strength in other aspects of life. I kept quiet. They didn't know that I had been training with Jacob. I was stronger than they thought I was. But being covered in bruises and scrapes after training today didn't help my case. But it only happened because I didn't sleep. I was so tired. I still am. But it shouldn't matter. He should want me the way I am, physically weak or physically strong. It shouldn't matter. I knew I would be a great Luna. Too bad they didn't see it that way. I love you, Emma, he said when I didn't respond. You are the most important thing in my world. Please forgive me. I was thinking like a beta, not like a brother. But when it comes to the issues related to the pack, I have to think like that. I am really sorry. I knew that he and Logan had to think about the pack first. It was their job, their duty. My father would be proud of Andrew, but I thought they at least should have given me a chance to prove myself, especially Logan. He immediately assumed I wouldn't be good enough. But I couldn't stay mad at my brother forever. He was the only family I had. I love you too, Andrew, I said, and I understand you have to think about the pack. Dad would be proud of you. He wrapped me in a tight hug and kissed my cheek. Does that mean you won't lock yourself in your room anymore? He asked, still holding me tight. I chuckled and nodded. I won't. Good, he said and let me go. Dinner and a movie. I shook my head. I am exhausted, and I already ate. He narrowed his eyes at me. Did you? Yes, I lied. At the diner. Okay, he said, still suspicious. Tomorrow night, then. I smiled and nodded. We got up, and I walked over to the stairs. Andrew kissed my forehead before going to the kitchen to make himself something to eat. I was always surprised by the amount of food he could eat. He literally just ate at the diner, and he was making himself something to eat again. I chuckled quietly and shook my head. I walked into my bathroom and hopped into the shower. Bruises and cuts had already healed, but my hand was still bruised. That bitch, Sienna, stepped on it pretty well. I finished showering and put on my pajamas. I got under the covers and closed my eyes. I hoped that I would get some sleep tonight.